It is Elliot Harrison's top 5 Oilers/Titans of all time. And at number 5, a guy who spent his entire career with the franchise, Elvin Bethea.
Look at those light blue helmets that they wore in the early 70s when they really stunk. Elvin Bethea.
But he was good.
Yeah, he was tackling Dwayne Thomas there. That's Jim Plunkett he's tackling right there out of Stanford. Won some Super Bowls for the Raiders. This is Ken Stabler. Elvin Bethea sacked everybody. This guy made 8 Pro Bowls as a Hall of Famer and played in 210 games. Honestly, Mark, I wanted to put him higher on this list. I'm not so sure that I shouldn't have.
How about representatives from Alcorn State? Steve McNair has to be the highest Alcorn State rep on any
right.
of your lists.
Well, when I say that, maybe I should have put Elvin Bethea higher. This is the reason I couldn't, because this is a Titans-Oilers list. And Steve McNair played for both franchises, and he was a co-MVP with Peyton Manning in 2003, which you see right there on the graphic. Yeah, Steve McNair really transcended the talent level on his team early on. Had to make plays with his legs. He had Eddie George, but as the defense got better and as their offensive line got better, this team really was one of the best teams in the late 90s, early 2000s. Of course, they made the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 34, they lost to Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, and the Rams.
Looking at this list as well, and you see Warren Moon, guy coming out of Washington, quarterback in the league. Obviously, a different time when you didn't see many black quarterbacks. The adversity that he faced and the ladder that he climbed, I think, adds a lot to his legacy in addition to what he did on the football field.
You bet. You're a 22-year-old kid who's had a great college career at quarterback. Why do you want to play wide receiver? But he went up to Canada. He was fantastic up there. He came to Houston, and by his 4th year with the Oilers, it took him a little bit. He was really balling. He got them to the playoffs from 87 to 1993. And when he signed with Minnesota in 94, that team went down the drain. That's how Jeff Fisher ended up getting the job, is because that team, well, didn't do so hot.
There he is, the Tyler Rose, Earl Campbell at number 2. And boy, just legendary guy in the state of Texas, and certainly nice for folks to be able to watch him play in Houston.
You bet. On all these lists, Mark, he's been an outlier. Only on the young teams like the Panthers or Jags have I had a player that's only played 7 years with a franchise. But with the Oilers, and given the nature, the style that Earl Campbell played with, even though he had a short career with the Oilers, he had to make the list. He is probably the greatest true power back of all time. Jim Brown could really do it all. But if we're talking exclusive power backs, Earl Campbell and John Riggins are at the top of the list. This guy was beast mode, but better.
I think you get some credit for being a member of one of football's all-time families, and that's what you see here with Bruce Matthews, son of Clay Matthews Sr. You look at all the Matthews family, that tree, it extends throughout, those branches are throughout the NFL, but certainly a stellar career for him in his uniform.
You bet. Well, this guy was the most accomplished of them all, and one of the most accomplished offensive linemen ever. Made the Pro Bowl at multiple spots on the offensive line.
Play up and down.
Up and down the line. Guard, center, tackle, played 19 years. Played with the Oilers, obviously, from 1983 to 1995, 96. Then in 97, when they moved, he played and started for the Titans. He even started on their Super Bowl 34 team, played all the way to 2001.
You know, you could have thrown a Javon Curse mention in there. We did see some Eddie George footage.
Oh, man. I could have gone Charlie Hennigan, the old AFL days. There's so many. Ken Burrow, wide receiver in the 1970s. Robert Brazile. There's so many great Oilers players of the past. And the sweetest uniforms the NFL's ever seen.
Some of them.
Good Titans, too.
Some of them.